how to do it, and waited patiently for me to complete the manuscript. They devoted their considerable talent to ensuring that the eyewitness accounts and images in this work will be preserved for posterity. Throughout the long process of completing this chronicle, Marcia Fishbaugh, my incomparable executive assistant, and Eric Krause, my faithful travel companion, have had to bear the brunt of my frenetic schedule. No one gave up more than Betsy, my wife and best friend of 39 years, so I could complete this book. She patiently waited and prayed for my safety while I made a dozen prolonged trips to cover those serving in Iraq, Afghanistan, and the Philippines. Her support and encouragement, and that of our children and their mates, made completing this work possible. None of these eyewitness accounts would have been possible without the assistance of hundreds of soldiers, sailors, airmen, guardsmen, and Marines with whom we have lived, laughed, and sometimes cried over the course of the 5 years they have been fighting this war. Some of their names and pictures are in this book. Most are not. They truly are American heroes. For the opportunity they gave us to let them tell their stories, I am eternally grateful. Semper Fidelis, Oliver North. Introduction. Hanging around with heroes. I have the best job in all broadcasting. Soldiers, sailors, airmen, guardsmen, and Marines, those who fight America's wars, are my only beat. I hang around with heroes for a living. For some, a hero wears a spandex suit and a cape. My heroes wear flak jackets, flight suits, and combat boots. This book is for and about them. In 2001, Roger Ailes hired me to host the War Stories documentary series on Fox News Channel. Our idea was to present the perspectives of those who had fought America's past conflicts, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, to offer eyewitness participants an opportunity to tell how they made history. Then came 9/11/01, the day 19 Islamic radicals hijacked 4 airliners and killed more than 2,900 people in America. Within weeks of the attack, I was headed for Afghanistan, with a whole new generation of U.S. warriors. Since then, I have been privileged to spend more than a year of my life documenting the remarkable men and women who serve as our guardians against radical Islam. In the pages of this book, you will have the opportunity to meet many of those I have encountered in the foothills of Afghanistan's Hindu Kush, the scorching deserts of Iraq, on the waters of the Persian Gulf, in the jungles of the Philippines, and on U.S. military bases and hospitals around the globe. To the extent possible, the accounts here are their words, for no one can tell the story as well as those who live it. This, then, is the first draft of the history they are making. My purpose is not to glorify war. No one should do that, for war is terrible. Rather, the photos and words in this book are intended to show these brave young Americans as they really are. All volunteers, part of the brightest, best educated, trained, led, and equipped military any nation has ever had. They are young men and women with incredible courage, untiring tenacity, and astounding technical and tactical competence. There is another dimension to these young Americans that often goes unreported, the extraordinary compassion and faith that they display. I've spent more than 40 years either in uniform or around those who are, and I've never seen so many young men and women so willing to demonstrate their faith, by praying before a mission, leading a Bible study, and kneeling beside a wounded comrade in prayer. Perhaps it's because so many of them have been through the crucible of modern American culture. They've heard the debates over whether they can pray around the flagpole or say, "under God," when pledging allegiance to the flag. They've made their decision about what to believe, and they know the peace that comes with a strong faith foundation. Or, as a young U.S. Navy medical corpsman put it, "I know where I'm going, and I know why I'm going there." He wasn't talking about a trip to the mall. Despite the way they are presented by too many in the press and politics, the men and women in uniform today are overwhelmingly good. I've seen our troops willingly put themselves at great risk in order to keep from hurting a non-combatant, holding fire until they are sure their target is hostile, and placing themselves in danger to protect innocents during an enemy engagement. Though I have been in more gunfights than